Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. And what I have right here is the Sigma 14mm 1.4 art lens L mount for my Leica. And I just purchased this from B&H Photo. Love B&H. I rarely send anything back. I mean, rarely. I've been dealing with them for probably 20 years, 25 maybe. I might have sent 10 things back in that whole time period. So I love this lens. I love the view because I'm used to getting this kind of view with my Nikon, the Z9. I have the 14 to 24. And it's a little different though, having just a straight 14. I don't realize, I mean, I use the 14 mostly for real estate. An exceptionally wide group, but most of it is for real estate and some architecture, but most architects don't like 14mm, it's too wide. So I wanted something that I could probably do real estate with this camera because the color, I really love the Arado white balance over any camera I've ever used. And I've used it a lot. But I decided this morning to go out and take some photographs because yesterday I took some really beautiful pictures. Early sun in the morning, sunrise coming up, some really nice high-end used car shop, and then a new restaurant that's going in. I was driving by and it was like, I gotta grab a picture of this. And they're absolutely stunning, as you can see. I think they are. However, when I started to zoom in on the restaurant, it just didn't have that, I don't know, that grit look. It didn't have that really sharp look. And I know it's 14mm. So fast forward here to this morning, I grabbed my camera. I thought, you know what, I'm gonna just do this test. I was kind of let down, honestly. I mean, I love the lens and I'm sure it is beautiful for what it is. And I'm not nitpicking. 1.4 is critical. It has to be critical. The focus has to be critical. You can't be off at all. And again, when I used to get the old Sigma lenses with my DSLR, you have to have that lens dock and you had to calibrate your lenses for each camera. And if it was a zoom lens, you had to go in between the zooms and it was a hassle. I don't think you need to do this with the mirrorless lenses, but the sharpness really isn't the issue per se. If you take a look at this first picture I have, it's a huge wall mural. I took a couple of these before. I think they might have been on my last video. And I got where I could fill up pretty much of the entire frame. And I shot 1.4 as my first one. And I did 5.6, and then I did an f8. The f8, I didn't line up right, couldn't see the name, so I just kept it at 5.6. If you look at the 1.4, from a distance it looks great. But as you zoom in, the center is sharp, but it's not like in tack sharp. I think it was like 3200, shutter speed was 3200 at 1.4, 100 ISO, so it's not grainy. It's not the fact that, you know, it's high ISO or I moved or, so I moved it to the 5.6. Look at the difference in the guy's name on the top left. And then if you look at the sharpness there at 1.4 and look at the sharpness at 5.6, there's a noticeable difference. Not only a noticeable difference in the sharpness, but the overall light of the picture. The vignetting on this lens is huge, which I knew that going in. I mean, you can put the, what do you call it, the corrections in Lightroom, but it overdoes it. It's almost like it's too bright on the corners. And it's just, I was just kind of like shocked that it was that much of a difference. At 5.6, you hardly see anything. And yes, I could shoot this lens all day at 5.6, but the idea of a 1.4 is what? To use it at 1.4 whenever you can. F8 was really sharp. So then again, why would you buy a 14 millimeter, pay the premium for a 1.4 unless you like that kind of look? But I still wouldn't pay $1,600 for it. Used, maybe, like I said, $1,800. Yeah. And not to mention the fact that this is really heavy. This is my Leica 35 millimeter f2. No, it's not a 1.2 or 1.4. But all of their Apple lenses, the SL Apple lenses, they're all the same size. So you have anywhere from, I believe it's 21 millimeter up to 90 millimeter, that every lens is the same size. And if you look at this, there's a huge, I mean, it's a huge difference. It's gigantic. And it's a lot, this is so much heavier. And again, I don't mind the weight of it. I don't mind the size of it. I do mind the sharpness of it. So what's your opinion on it? I'd like to hear what you think. I just know for me personally, and that's what art is and that's what photography is, it's a personal preference. Whatever you like, you like. I just don't think it's worth that kind of money. Then again, these are like $5,600. Are they worth that kind of money? Depends on who you are, what you're doing with it, and how well you like sharpness. That's what I'm saying. There's no right or wrong. So let me know what your thoughts are, and I'm glad you guys tuned back in. This will be going back, and I have another surprise coming next week. All right, I will see you guys around. Peace, and keep shooting. Thanks. Bye.